Welcome back, everyone. Julia, let's start by exploring why so many English learners find themselves overthinking before speaking. What are the main reasons behind this hesitation?
Thanks, Jason. The core issue is usually fear of making mistakes, being misunderstood, or sounding awkward. Many learners worry so much about grammar and pronunciation that they freeze up and say nothing at all.
That's relatable. I've heard students say, "What if I sound silly?" Or, "What if people laugh at me?" This constant self-doubt can really hold them back from practicing.
Absolutely. Ironically, even native speakers make plenty of errors, but they don't let it stop them from communicating. The difference is, learners often feel pressured to be perfect, which leads to more overthinking.
So, it's a cycle overthinking leads to silence, which then hurts progress. Let's dig into some specific causes next. One major barrier we hear about is translating from your native language. Julia, how does this habit slow down English conversation?
Great question, Jason. When learners mentally translate every sentence, it creates a time lag. By the time they've found the right words, the conversation has often moved on, which is frustrating.
That's true. It's like trying to run a race while stopping at every step to tie your shoes. You end up behind.
Exactly. Translating word for word also leads to unnatural sentences. English has its own rhythm and structure, so direct translation rarely sounds fluent.
So, to move forward, learners need to start thinking in English, a point we'll expand on shortly. Let's discuss another psychological barrier, lack of confidence. Julia, how does low confidence create a self-reinforcing loop that prevents progress?
When learners feel insecure about their accent or vocabulary, they speak less. This silence actually increases nervousness for future conversations, creating a negative cycle.
Right, and the less you speak, the more you doubt your ability, which just makes the next attempt even harder. It's a classic example of a feedback loop in psychology.
Exactly. Breaking this loop requires action, not waiting for confidence to magically appear. Practice leads to improvement, which then builds real confidence.
That's a powerful insight. Up next, let's discuss why speaking first without overthinking matters so much. Now, Julia, why is it so important for learners to prioritize practice over perfect grammar or vocabulary?
The key is that language fluency is like muscle memory. The more you use it, the more automatic it becomes. If you focus only on being correct, you'll never build the speed or confidence needed for real conversations.
That's a great analogy. It's like learning to ride a bike. You have to wobble and fall a few times before you can balance smoothly.
Exactly. Babies don't study grammar, they listen, repeat, and keep trying. Adults can adopt the same approach. Speak first, fix mistakes later.
So, perfection can wait, but practice can't. Let's transition to some specific strategies for speaking more naturally. Julia, you mentioned earlier that thinking in English is a game changer. How can learners train their brains to do this effectively?
One simple practice is describing your daily activities in English, either out loud or silently. For example, as you make coffee, narrate, "I'm pouring water. The coffee smells good." This rewires your mind to process thoughts in English.
That's such a practical tip. It's like switching your phone to English. By immersing yourself in the language, you create new habits.
Exactly. Over time, words and phrases come more naturally. It removes the translation step, making conversations smoother and faster.
Let's explore some other practical tools for speaking without hesitation next. Another effective technique is shadowing. Could you explain how this works, Julia, and why it's so valuable for learners?
Shadowing involves listening to native speakers and immediately repeating what they say, matching their pronunciation and rhythm. It's like karaoke for language, great for improving accent and fluency.
That's a fun analogy. And for those without a speaking partner, talking to yourself in front of a mirror or recording your voice can also help build confidence.
Absolutely. These self-practice methods create a safe space to make mistakes and experiment. Over time, you'll notice your speech becoming more fluid and natural.
Let's continue with strategies for simplifying your speech. Many learners try to use complex sentences, which can lead to more hesitation. Julia, why is it better to keep things simple?
Simple sentences are easier to produce quickly and reduce the fear of making grammar mistakes. For example, instead of "I wish to discuss an important matter," Just say, let's talk about something important.
That's a great illustration. In fact, studies show that native speakers use short sentences in most conversations. The goal is communication, not complexity.
Exactly. Short, clear statements keep the conversation flowing and boost your confidence. Over time, you can add complexity as your skills grow.
Now, what about dealing with mistakes during conversation? Mistakes can feel embarrassing, but they're actually valuable. Julia, how should learners change their perspective on making errors?
Mistakes are proof that you're trying and learning. If you're not making errors, you're staying in your comfort zone. Every slip is an opportunity to improve.
That's so important. In fact, research in language acquisition shows that learners who make and correct mistakes advance faster than those who try to avoid them.
Exactly. Instead of feeling embarrassed, treat mistakes as stepping stones. The more you speak, the more you learn from real-world feedback.
Let's move to the idea of immersing yourself in English daily. Julia, why is immersion surrounding yourself with English every day so effective for reducing overthinking?
Immersion trains your brain to recognize patterns and natural phrasing. The more you listen to podcasts, watch shows, or read in English, the more automatic your speaking becomes.
Right. And it's similar to how athletes improve by watching and mimicking professionals. The constant exposure reinforces what's correct and natural.
Absolutely. Plus, immersion lessens the pressure to be perfect, as you see that even native speakers use informal language, contractions, and sometimes break grammar rules.
Now, let's introduce a speaking challenge to put these concepts into action. Julia, it's time for our spontaneous speaking challenge. Could you explain how this exercise helps learners stop overthinking and start talking?
Of course! The challenge is to speak about a given topic for 30 seconds without stopping. No long pauses or planning, just keep talking, even if you have to describe words you don't know.
Let's demonstrate. Julia, describe your morning routine, please.
Sure. Every morning I wake up at 7 a.m., stretch, drink water, brush my teeth, and make coffee. I check my phone, eat breakfast, and get ready for work or study.
Great job. Listeners, now it's your turn. Choose a topic and speak for 30 seconds. Don't stop. Just keep going. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Before we wrap up, let's talk about mindset. Julia, how can learners shift their thinking to become more confident English speakers?
First, remember that confidence comes from action, not waiting until you feel ready. Start speaking now, and your confidence will grow with each attempt.
That's so true. Also, focus on communication rather than perfection. The goal is to be understood, not flawless.
Exactly. See mistakes as signs of progress, not failure. And don't compare yourself to others only. Measure your growth against your past self.
Embrace discomfort as a natural part of learning. Growth happens outside your comfort zone, so keep challenging yourself. As we conclude today's episode, let's remind our listeners, every time you speak, you're improving. Mistakes and imperfections are part of the journey to fluency.
Absolutely. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Begin today, even if it's only a few sentences. You're further ahead tomorrow by taking action now.
Remember, most people admire your effort and understand the challenge of learning a new language. No one is judging you as much as you think.
You have what it takes to succeed. Believe in yourself, take action, and keep practicing daily. Fluency is within reach if you stop thinking and start talking.
Thank you for joining us. Practice the speaking challenge, keep pushing yourself, and subscribe for more tips and motivation. See you next time, and keep speaking with confidence.